I am so excited today because I have Madonna here. It's not the other Madonna you all are thinking. We have a better, improved Madonna with us today. Yes, I'm so excited to have her here because when her and I talked, we had our meet and greet and we talked, and we do have a lot of things in common. One of the things we had in common that we talked about was being bullied. And then there were some other things that we had in common. And we talked about teaching school. You all know I was a teacher, and some of the things that them little children did, we were sharing back and forth. So we just laugh and talk about those things. And I just asked her, I was like, would you like to be on my show? And she was like, sure. I mean, it's a great platform. We just talk and shoot the breeze. So that's what we're going to do today. So with all of that said, Madonna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Miss V, I am happy to share a little bit about myself with you and your viewers and listeners.
Yes.
My background is in fashion.
Yes.
Yes. When I was 5 years old, I didn't know it at the time, but I was coordinating my parents' closet, uh, merchandising their accessories. Yes. It was just in my blood. And I was also selling merchandise to my toys. So there
Oh,
you go.
wow.
It was in my blood, as well as designing garments for my paper dolls.
Oh,
Uh, the,
wow.
the local newspaper, the Boston Globe, on Sundays in the comic section would have a paper doll along with a couple of outfits. And the instructions were color the top yellow, color the pants green. Not me, I went rogue. And plus, after I
Oh,
cut the paper doll out, I traced around her and I designed garments for her. So
wow.
this is what I did as a child. And any cousin who came to visit me, I would quickly change their wardrobes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I would slip them into something that was in my closet. I mean, little did I know that I would be dressing people in fashion shows and also giving tips to customers as to what to wear. You don't know. You just do these things as a child. And also, whenever my mother would take me to a department store, now this is during a time where you would get dressed up to go downtown, and
Oh,
dressed up would mean you would
okay.
probably dress in your Sunday best
Really?
to go down. Especially in a city like Boston. Oh yes, you'd wear, you'd be in a dress, and the black Mary Jane shoes, and certainly, and it was an occasion. It was an
Oh,
occasion.
pardon me.
Yes,
Pardon me.
darlings, it was an occasion. And we would go downtown to the major department stores, and I would be fascinated by the window displays. And
Mhm.
also, when you walk into the first floor of a major department store, the cosmetic department. I was enthralled by the cosmetic department because when you walked in off the street, you would just smell all these wonderful, expensive fragrances. And once I got into retailing, I realized that it was a ritual every morning for the fragrance department to spritz
Okay,
the fragrance.
spritz.
Yes, I don't know if they were doing this in any other city, but if they're doing it in Boston, they were probably doing it in New York
Yeah,
too. And
other
it's
places
yes,
too.
yes. So
Well,
anyway, I
I
learned.
have I have to say this. This paper doll thing is throwing me off. Not to call you, but I'm like, what is she talking about? A paper doll? We had doll babies, you know, and
Oh,
a paper doll. I don't quite get it. But explain again what a paper doll is or was. Do they still have? Okay, explain paper doll.
okay. A paper doll is a drawing
Okay,
of a human body
okay,
in some kind of a fashion pose. and and it was just wearing underwear. And then there was a selection of garments that were drawn next to it, a top, pair of pants, shorts, or a skirt, or a dress, and you would color it in, and then you would cut it out, and there were tabs on the
Oh,
shoulders, tabs around the waist, tabs around the legs, and then you would just cut it out, and you would attach it to the paper
you
doll.
know, I love it. I love it. I can't say that I don't know about it, but I love it. I love the concept of a paper doll. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't around when I was a little girl, but that's just not something we had. We had like dolls, the plastic, you know, the regular doll
Well,
babies.
I had regular dolls too.
Yeah, but that
I
was
had
something. That was really something. Well, listen, I have an idea based on everything you just said, what we're going to talk about today. So I know you listen to the podcast, and I do have an idea what story you chose. So, what story are we going to talk about today?
Well, you know that I chose the story working in retail. Oh my God. You know,
That's the one. I have that one, and there's another one that I have. And yes, because of the fashion and all that. So, listeners, listen. So, if you have not listened to that story, or you listened to it and you forgot, let me tell you a little bit about this. I used to work at JCPenney's in the salon, but money was tight and I needed a part-time job. So I started working in a retail clothing store, a plus size retail clothing store. This is where I met my best friend. We were working in that store, and let me tell you, it's some things that happen in that store. I'm not going to tell you everything, so you need to go and list it, but I will give you a couple of highlights of some of the things that happened into it. One of the main highlights was me being behind the register, ringing up people, and there was a long line. And there was this lady in line who kept staring at me, and I thought she was upset because she felt as though I was too slow. But that wasn't the case. When she came up for me to ring up her item, she asked me about my hair. Now, remember, I told you I worked in a salon, so I had let one of the girls try a new style on me, and it turned out beautifully. I absolutely loved that hairstyle. And because it was fresh, I had left that job and came to the other one. You know, it was fresh and shiny and all that. And she loved my hair. And she asked me if it was my hair. I'm like, I can't believe somebody had a nerve to ask you something like that. And what difference did it make? So I answered the question. I said, yes, it's my hair. Y'all know what this lady did. She had the nerve and audacity to reach up and pull my hair to see if it was mine. I was like, oh my God. So I gently removed her hand from my hair and asked her if she was satisfied. The people in line had their mouths open just like me, like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. But then there was two other instances. I'm gonna give you real quick. One of them was I didn't really work with the manager too much. And so one day I was extremely tired from work, and from my first job. I was really busy. I came in, I looked at the schedule, and it said that I was in the back room. The back room was great for me because that's where you hang out, you hang up clothes, you unpack the clothes, hang them, tag them, and all that. So the only reason I would have to go out in the front of the store was to get hangers, the hangers that they put underneath the register. So I'm back there in my world. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I sat on a box and I'm hanging and I'm steaming and all that great. I had to go get some hangers. I go outside, and Denise is the store manager, and I hadn't worked with her before. So she was behind the register, and I go and I get hangers, and I'm like, what the world is going on? It was a strong odor. Did not know anything. So I thought it was a customer, and I didn't want to embarrass anyone. So, I got my hangers, I went back in, and then I came back out for round two to get more hangers, and I came out, and this time I had to say something, y'all. I was like, what in the world is so strong up here? It's something stinking up here. Y'all need to spray. It is, I don't understand how y'all can do it. So I grabbed the hangers and I went in the back. My best friend came in the back crying from laughing. And she asked me, she said, have you ever worked with Denise before? And I was like, no, not really. And if I have, usually I'm on the floor in front, not in the back where the register was. So I never really had any encounters with her. And she told me, she said, girl, that was Denise, had it lit up there. I was like, oh my God. Because I made a scene. I was like, y'all need to spray. This is terrible. I was so embarrassed. And then one of the last ones was the lady who busted all these skirts. She said that the skirts was cheap. And she bust all the zippers in the skirts, left the store and left them in the dressing room. And come to find out, she had different sizes. It wasn't the skirt, it was her body. She was too big. So those are some of the things you need to go listen to the episode so you can get the full, because it was a couple of other things that happened as well. So you need to listen to it. So when you listen to that story, Madonna, what did you think?
It just took me back to my days in retail management. I've worked in management, and then I also worked for a national women's apparel manufacturer in the design division. So anyway, but I'll stick to the retail.
No, any way you want to go with it. I mean, when you listen to it, what did you think?
It just took me back to being on the floor and the encounters with various customers. I know that I mentioned that you can tell when there's a full moon.
Yes.
You can
yes
tell. You can tell. Oh gosh. One particular Saturday, this is when I was a very new executive, still going through the executive training program. So there was two of us on the floor in housewares. And houseware, that's pots, pans, like, oh, okay, all right. And it was one thing after the next, the whole day. And there was maybe about 15 minutes left to the day. And you know how you get to a point like, oh gosh, what a day. Well, a woman and her daughter came into our pots and pans department, and there was a salesperson with them too, who was holding a check and shaking. You know, the salesperson was shaking, and I was looking like, oh gosh, now what? And the salesperson said, Miss Beauclair, can you authorize this check, please? And I'm like, what's wrong with them? Looked at the check, and it was an out-of-state check. We're in Boston. It was an out-of-state check for over $100. Customer was from Philadelphia, and we cannot authorize. At the time, we could not authorize a check like that on the floor. Okay. And I looked at the salesperson and said, you know that we are unable to do this. Just take this up to the credit department and they'll do it. And the poor little salesperson was like, I tried that. And the woman was she just flew off the handle. She flew off the handle. I don't want to go up to the credit department. This is the only department store in Boston where I've had to do this. And it's like, oh gosh.
Oh Lord.
Here we go. Right? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I said, my fellow supervisor will take you up to the credit department. Notice I didn't say me.
You would, yes.
It was, you know, let me say, I was an African-American executive in sort of a racist city, Boston. And so anyway, you know, the young man with me was taller than me, very white. And he said, oh, okay, sure, ma'am, I'll take you up there. And
you had a Karen. She was a Karen, what they call nowadays a Karen.
Yes.
Okay, she was a Karen.
Honey, yeah, she was just getting warmed up.
She was a Karen, okay.
Yeah. Oh, definitely so. And she said, I'm not going. and she threw the check at him, across me and at him, and said, "You do it. You go ahead and sign this now." And we're like looking at each other, and he did something that you're never ever supposed to do. He raised his voice at an annoyed
At a
customer.
Karen. Ooh.
Yes. And he said, "Ma'am, please, I'm trying to help you." Well, the next thing we knew, this woman, now I'm 5'7". The guy I'm with is like 6'2", wearing glasses. She leaped across me,
Oh
jumped up, and backhanded him.
no. Oh my God.
He backhanded him, and he was wearing glasses, and his glasses, he was like, his glasses
His glasses went crooked.
like this. And her handprint was, on the side of his face.
My God.
And he was walking around in circles, and I was standing there, and she's looking at me, huffing and puffing. And I thought, oh gosh, this customer is going to hit me. She's going to hit me. She looked me up and down, but she didn't hit me. But what she did instead,
She was a smart Karen. That's why she didn't hit you, because she was a Karen, but she was smart. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. But what she did was she walked down an aisle of aluminum cake and muffin pans, spread her arms out, and she cleared the whole aisle out, all way down. And it was, and her teenage daughter was with her, was standing there crying. She was looking at me. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And my male counterpart was still walking around in circles with his head. He was in shock. He was like this. His eyes were popped out of his head, and he was in shock. And then mom comes back, snatches her daughter, and drags her away. And my sales ladies, who were about in their 50s and 60s, had been working in the department store since the Depression, because they lied about their age in the Depression.
Okay.
They did, that's a story too. And they're wearing those thick orthopedic shoes. You know what those are?
Yes, they still make them today, I believe.
Okay, and here they come toddling down, "Miss Beauclair, Mr. Hampton, what happened?" And because all this commotion, all I could think of was, "Ladies, pick up those pots and pans and put them back on the counter." And I had to, calm my counterpart down. And the store was closing, and we still had to like close out all the cash registers and do all this kind of thing. But we thought we were going to be in so much trouble because the customer got upset and slapped him. And I thought, oh my gosh, when I went to a post-secondary school for retailing and fashion and all that sort of thing. And I thought, this wasn't in the book.
Right. I'm sure it wasn't.
The only thing, that you're taught is when customers are upset, you lower your voice, slow your movements. But evidently the college he went to
did not tell him that.
It didn't say any of that, So yes, yeah, that was that. I believe that's one of my best full moon stories. And
so she didn't purchase anything. She just left the store, right?
She left the store. Left the store after, Miss V, she was smart enough not to go over to the glass baking dishes. Because that's girl, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, but look, we would have cashed that $100 check and paid for every piece of glass that she broke up to $100, because that's amazing, because people still do crazy stuff like that now. I mean, it's worse now working in retail, because when we didn't have too many in that particular store. We didn't have a lot of negative, really bad things like that. Most of the things that happened to me and us were more comical kind of things. Of course we had customers like, well, these people, they never slapped anybody, and definitely they didn't like clear the whole rack of anything, but they performed like in the middle of the floor,
Yes.
I'm just, whatever. Especially, this is one of the things I hated when it happened. If their credit card was denied and
Yes.
they were non-melanin, listen, they would perform. When I say
Yes.
perform, oh, how dare, oh, something is wrong with the system. No, ma'am.
Oh, yes.
No, ma'am, you didn't make your payment, your husband, something like that. Do you have another car? And like you said, trying to keep everything on
Yes.
down and keeping everything. But
Yes.
that was the most that we ever had anything like going crazy, is when a credit card was declined, especially if they were spending like hundreds of dollars and it got, if it was like a $20 shirt, we didn't have too many, but the more it was like the
Oh, yes.
more they went completely crazy. And the only other thing we had was maybe the dressing rooms.
Oh,
Taking the children in the dressing rooms, or taking 900 pieces of clothes and just leaving a great big pile up, and watching them to make sure they don't steal. So yeah, I listen. Now I think we talked a little bit about this, but you have a creepy story about something creepy that happened. Please share that creep, because I
oh,
am dying to hear
yes.
this story. I don't,
Yes.
please, Lord, don't
Oh,
let us run out of time, because I
no, no,
really
no,
want
this
us
is creepy.
the creepy
Yes.
story.
Yes. Um, I managed a huge tween department, but I also had ladies lingerie.
Ooh,
Ooh,
okay,
ladies lingerie.
okay.
And one particular day, a gentleman came in and purchased a onesie. It was an adult fleece yellow onesie with the footies in it, and you know how it just
Oh,
zips up, and it has the little the little traction
yes,
thing, the little gray traction thing. Oh,
yes.
okay, okay, all right. The sales lady rang it up, and I just had an odd feeling about him when he walked into the department, and okay, and I think my sales lady did too. All right, but hey, it's just a transaction. Miss V, the very next thing, the very next day, here comes this man, the same man, and he was kind of odd looking, kind of sleazy and odd looking, but yeah, when you're working downtown a metropolitan store, you get all kinds.
Yeah.
My sales lady called me over and she said, Miss Beauclair, he would like a refund for this merchandise. And
Okay.
it was still in the bag. She put it this way. She wouldn't take it out the
I
bag.
wouldn't have to, because I feel like I've never heard this story, but I have an idea of what happened. I would not have either. But go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, and I'm looking at her like, oh goodness, I remember this guy from yesterday, the yellow footing, onesie. I looked in the bag, and my skin started to crawl.
Lord, Lord have mercy.
The onesie. Now, because the sales lady wouldn't take it out the bag, the customer just took the bag and dumped it out on the counter. And it was absolutely filthy. And it had snags in it. There was dirt, there was hair.
It must have had. It had to have an odor. Please don't.
I didn't. It had hair on it. But the thing that creeped me out the most was the little traction pieces on the
Mhm.
bottom, they were gone.
Oh Lord, what did he do? Look, what did he do? I don't even want. I look. I don't want to know. I
They
don't.
were
I don't even want to know what he did.
they were gone. They were all gone. They had all been, you could tell they had all been like scraped off. And I was, thinking, what did this man do overnight?
Oh Lord.
Was he wearing this? Was there somebody in it who got drug or oh my, and just that creep factor of what went on.
I know, right? Because
I,
I started to thinking for a minute what could have went wrong, but then I stopped because my brain was like, no, 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 no. I don't want to know.
I mean, it was this bright, sunny yellow, and then it's dirty and clumps of fleece are gone, and then just the little, traction, half circles on the bottom are just all scraped away, and then there was like holes in the foot area
Oh
where,
my God.
and I didn't ask.
What did you all do?
Well, he didn't get a credit. I'm the manager. I put on my best poker
Okay.
face.
All right.
The poker face,
Yes.
and it's, sir, this garment has been worn. And he's there. I didn't wear it. And I'm thinking, oh Lord. Oh,
Look, it doesn't matter.
and I said, sir, someone wore this garment. There will be no refunds today. Please put the merchandise back in the bag because I'm not touching it. My sales lady wasn't touching
Right.
it. I said, please put the merchandise back in the bag. But I have my receipt, sir. The merchandise is damaged beyond repair. No refund. And I turned and I left.
Okay, now.
Yeah, right. And he was like, upset putting it in. And I'm thinking, after he left, I walked back over to my sales lady. I said, what the hell is that man into?
Yes.
Did
Well,
you
I
read
hope.
anything odd in the Boston Globe this morning? Because, if there had been some blood on that,
Oh,
then I would have,
probably call. I
taken
would have. Yeah.
Yeah. But there wasn't any blood, and I was surprised. Really, I was surprised there wasn't any blood.
I
But
just hope he had a great night. If it came in looking that bad, he better have had some serious fun with it, or whoever wore it. They should have had a ball, and he should have been smart enough to at least try to wash it out in the sink and return it. But
nope.
something was wrong with him. Listen, this is hilarious. I think your story just trumped my story with the lady who bust the zipper. I think that just trumped it. You got it.
Well,
Look,
I've had that too, but yeah. But I thought that story still creeps me out. And when I tell other, people in retail about it, it's like, well, what the heck? What
no, I know, and everybody has the same questions that you and the other lady probably had. We all have the same, thought processes. Oh my God, especially the foot part of it being like, yeah, it's like, okay, wait a minute. The top part, you could have fallen down, a hill and rolled down the hill, but the foot, were you running from somebody? What were you doing?
I mean, just gone. And there was and I've got just one quick bizarre story, which just blows my mind. The downtown department stores are just beautiful.
They are.
The shiny linoleum floor, and they're just beautiful. And I was walking, through my department to another department to do something, and I saw something up ahead on the floor. Like, what's that? Miss V, somebody had left a pile of poo.
No, no, I have never. Now that is something I have never encountered. Thank God.
In a dressing room I have, but not the shiny, pretty. Here are the racks, the beautiful, expensive merchandise. And it was so surreal to me. And I thought,
I have the answer for that. Now it may not be the right answer, but I have an answer. What happened was, I'm a storyteller, so I got a great one for you. Basically, what happened is someone went in the dressing room, changed their child used the bathroom, and when they came out, the poop fell out of the diaper they was gonna throw in the trash. How's that? You lost for
Okay,
words.
okay, but it wasn't baby poo. This was adult stuff.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I can fix that one too. Look, I can fix that one too.
Okay.
So this is what happened was an adult went and they had on Depends.
Oh, okay.
And
There
they
we go.
went in. It was an adult, and we're gonna even make the story better. It was an adult male who went in to change his Depend, and he was trying to be, slick and throw it in the trash can, and he dropped it, and he just picked up the Depend and left out the store. Now, how's that?
Okay, there we go. There we go.
I like that.
On this beautiful, shiny linoleum floor, and I had to call. I had to call housekeeping, and this is Boston, so you can just imagine how the telephone conversation
I'm sure.
went. Yeah, and that's comical
Yes.
too, but yeah. But anyway, yes.
Listen, you all. See, Madonna has brought some great stories from retail. You all go listen to my story and then let's compare it to what she shared with us today. But let's answer the questions at the end. You all know I share my thoughts. And so let's answer the question. And we probably have already pretty much answered the question. The first question is, have you ever worked in retail? Of course, yes, we have. And did you like it? Did you enjoy it? I mean, I did.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And especially when I went into teaching,
Okay.
fashion marketing, I shared my actual experiences with the students so that they would have examples of what happens when you deal with the public and how to handle situations on the fly.
I think I did enjoy it, and it did prepare me for some other things. I can honestly say that it really did, working with customers, because that was when I was really young. And then when I started working in the medical field, working in the emergency room, it kind of helped me with patience, working with people. So it really does. The other question is, what was the funniest thing that happened to you or in a job? And we both share funny things that have happened to both of us. We
Yeah,
have
bizarre
definitely
things.
done
Yes.
some crazy, especially Mr. Yellow onesie. I don't think I would ever forget him. And most likely I am going to share this with other people. I'm like, y'all remember, especially the girls that I work with at the store. I'm like, y'all remember? Where I have one better.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
listen, I have thoroughly enjoyed you. This has been fun. I feel like the time went by so quickly because we were just sharing the stories. But I want to make sure I give you time so that if people want to reach out to you, I know you have some things on. So please share with us, where they can reach you and what's going on.
Okay, they can reach me at my email address, madfashion2001@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And I do have a children's self-esteem book just in time for the holidays. It's to help, kids who were bullied, because as Miss V mentioned earlier about bullying. And I am also a motivational speaker and an amateur competitive sprinter. And just this weekend, I came in first in the 50 and 100 meters in the Washington State Senior Games, which punched my ticket to the 2023 National Senior Games in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania next year. And I also competed earlier this year in May in the 2020 National Senior Games, where my coach and I, we just had the best outing for me. I placed 7th in the 100 meters and won a silver medal in the 4x100. We were trying to beat Barbados, but we came in second behind.
It's okay. I think that is amazing that you're out there, you're still running and doing stuff. I love it, because I plan on, as long as I can, I'm gonna do it now. I'm a little bit on the fluffy side, so a sister don't run unless somebody behind me. I walk fast, but I can find other things. I will walk. I will walk fast. Oh my God, that is amazing. But you all, I will make sure that I have everything in the description. So if you want to reach out to her, if you want to follow her, or even if you want to support her with, her running and the other things that she's doing, I'll make sure it's in the description so you can reach out to her and go and support her, running and all that. So thank you so much again for being here. I mean, this has been so much fun. Honestly, I wish I had more time. I'm going to work on doing this a little bit longer. But anyway, thank you so much, Madonna.
I am so grateful that you had me as a guest, and they can also people can also reach me on Instagram, Madonna Fit Fast and Fabulous on Instagram. Okay.
Okay, I will make sure I have that in there. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.